Afterlife. In terms of viewership, it was probably one of the most popular projects you were in.
Yeah, I think it's international as well. That's the thing about something like a Netflix comedy, is that you know, if I go on holiday somewhere like Italy or something, there'll be people who recognize me from Afterlife. You know, it's quite weird.
How is it? How is it working with Ricky Gervais? Because I can imagine it's probably very, very fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, he's a very, very funny, like combustibly funny person. So he's constantly laughing and joking and looking for ways to make the process fun. But also he kind of, look, it's really interesting. He really doesn't, he doesn't kind of micromanage stuff, which I you know, I feel like I've learned a lot from him, because particularly when I'm doing Here We Go or something, there is always a tendency to kind of, to try and get exactly what you want, to sort of lobby for the script at every point, to be like, well, it's got to be this, and we've got to then do that, and you've got to move there. And you can just be a bit of an irritant on set. And even though that stuff can be important, you can end up being a bit of a buzzkill, because you're basically trying to like micromanage every part of the comedy. And you know, it's very hard to resist that urge to do that. But if you do it a lot, I think you can slightly tire people out, and it becomes hard for them to be funny, because they just it becomes too much like a job, or too much like you know, you've just put too many things in their head. Like if you give people too many notes, they're thinking about that rather than being in the moment and being funny. And Ricky is so good at just giving people time and space, and just letting them, just trusting them that they're funny performers, and trusting them to kind of do the right thing, or do something funny, do something he hadn't expected, but that's really funny. And yeah, he's so good at that. He's such a kind of instinctive director and actor that, like, I remember on the first series of Afterlife, you know, there'd be a scene, like some of the scenes, particularly the scenes between me and him, because I'd sort of talked to him a lot about the script over the years leading up to that first series. But some of those scenes, like they'd be the bones of the scene, but he'd give us space to improvise and sort of find a direction for it a little bit. And we do one take, and we're cross shooting, so you know, you can kind of improvise and you're getting both sides of the shot. And we do one take, and it would end with him calling me a cunt and storming out of the office. And we do it again, and on the second take, it would end with him being in floods of tears, and you know, me asking him if he's all right. And the scene would just go in a completely different direction, because he's so like he's so open to what's happening. And he's also an incredible actor. Mm. I don't think he gets enough credit for just what an amazing comic actor he is. He can, when you work with him, when you're like doing a scene with him, what he can do in the moment is amazing. Uh-huh. So it was really, really exciting making that show, because you didn't quite know how each scene would go. Even scenes that were tightly written and then, you know, performed to the script, there was always a sense that anything could kind of happen a little bit, and that Ricky could take it a different direction, or he'd trust that one of us to take it in a different direction. So it was really exciting. And I think, you know, one of the reasons why it's proved so popular with viewers is that you feel it when you watch it. You feel the kind of rawness to it. You feel the sort of like how direct and kind of true it is. You know, like so Ricky is one of those people that it has to have emotion in it. It has to have some kind of emotion, I think, for him to be interested in it. And you know, you just kind of feel it. It's very close to the surface in Afterlife, and it kind of bubbles up in unexpected ways.
Working with him, did it affect your, I don't know, humor? How you see funny?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I feel like I was already very familiar with his humor before making Afterlife with him. And I think it definitely affected how my approach to like making stuff. And it affected my willingness to kind of take risks, I guess, try stuff out when you're shooting. Like, I think actually, you know, when we're making Here We Go, as you probably remember, there's a lot of improvising, there's a lot of mucking about. And there's a lot of, just trying things, just encouraging the cast to like try an idea. Like in the scene where you're opening the pickles, like Catherine just kind of, just tried out, thought it'd be funny that Rachel's just kind of really enjoying watching you flexing and having a very muscly man in the house. And, it's not really in the script. It's you just sort of adding that. And there's a lovely moment where she says like, wow. And Amy's like, what do you mean, wow? He didn't open it. And she's like, well, and like, I love things like that. I love kind of the cast improvising in character. And I think, you do have to, particularly because, as I say, time's really tight. You may not get exactly what you've written on the script, but if you're prepared to let the cast play, and you've got good actors who like funny actors who know what they're doing, you can often get stuff that's really like that's elevated, that's better. It's just richer.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely a lesson that I took from Ricky. Yeah.